Okay, this is JDL Germany, and once again we will be exposing the lies and deceptions of Mr. Victor Vancier, aka Chaim Ben Pesach, aka anti-JaTF, aka Jimmy Sullivan. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will soon find out. These are all fake identities that Mr. Vancier has created for himself to generate publicity and to get more donations. A lot of it is by reverse psychology. He creates fake accounts against himself. He blames it on Peace Now. He blames everything either on Peace Now or, he alternates between Peace Now or Anonymous Hacker Group, even though before he denied it. We have done a video exposing that. We have done a video how he uses these fake accounts to trash and humiliate and attack his own members behind their backs. I will put the link to that video in the description box. And he was using, in fact, this channel here, Anti-JaTF, this account, fake account, to do such terrible things against his own ex-members. He's just really sick. And we will prove to you how much of a liar and psychotic, psychopath Mr. Vancier is, and how he manipulates his followers. And he tells such unbelievable lies to them with a straight face. He's just really sick. And let's just start by showing how he lies about these things. We will start with this thread here. It is entitled Victor Vancier is anti-JaTF. One of Mr. Vancier's members, roughly about a year and 2 months ago, put up this thread after he had found a video that JDL Germany had produced. And of course he blames one of his own ex-members, the guy who is actually trashing behind his back with his anti-JaTF account. So of course he's going to blame him because he knows he's guilty of trashing his own members. So of course he says, oh, it must be him. He thinks it's him because he was doing this against his own members, so he obviously knows his guilt. We have done many videos exposing this. And I will continue with this exposing by showing you what actually Mr. Dan Ben-Noah, one of his ultimate JTF administrators, has written here. And let us start by quoting Mr. Dan Ben-Noah. He's talking about some of these accounts, and he's talking about this guy, Mr. Dave Coe, and Zog. He says this is some guy called Rob Stark. Mr. Kahana is a member of Hebrew Forum. He says that account is a member of Hebrew Forum. He says this person is clearly wrong about that. Well, actually, that's not true. We have done a video. JDL Germany has done a video showing that Mr. Dave Coe and Mr. Kahana and anti-JaTF, all three of these accounts on YouTube have all signed in at exactly the same time. So clearly, Mr. Dan Ben-Noah is incorrect. He hasn't seen the evidence of what we have produced, showing that they all signed in at the same time. And, we will put a link. I'll actually put a link for that particular video in the description box so you can have a look at it. But let me just read to you what Mr. Dan Ben-Noah has written here. He says, and I quote, both the Hayamin, which means JTF Hebrew videos, and accounts, and Peace Now accounts that are subscribed to this channel, and he mentioned here Stop Chaim Ben Pesach is the one he's talking about. Then he says, have the same videos favorited in the exact same order during the exact same time frame. If you look at the recent activity on the accounts I have listed below, you can see it is the exact same actions in the exact same order. The anti-JaTF account happens to have the same order of videos if you scroll down his favorites. It gets better, my friends. It really does get better. Listen to this. All the accounts have the same last approximate sign-in date. Many of the Hayamin uploads have approximately the same amount of views as the Peace Now uploads, which indicates the same number of accounts are promoting the same videos. I know this due to the fact that I've done it myself with my own videos. The exact same account description is given on all the Hayamin accounts. And the exact same account description is given on all the Peace Now accounts. Oh man, it is just pathetic, isn't it? And it gets better, my friends, it does. Listen to this. He says, the Hebrew Forum is promoted on all the accounts. Compare these Hayamin accounts to these Peace Now accounts and pay particular attention to the recent activity. Okay, so what he has done here, he's listed 5 YouTube channels, all of them Hayamin, meaning JTF Hebrew, accounts, and then underneath he's got Peace Now. He should have put that in quotation marks, actually, because it is not Peace Now, of course. It is Mr. Vancier who has produced all 5 of those. Defeat Chaim Ben Pesach, Stop the Hate 2009, Stop the Hate 6, Stop the Hate 2, Stop the Hate 3. I mean, it's just pathetic. There are so many of them that he has done. And they all sign in at the same time. All of the JTF Hayamin channels, the accounts, they sign in at the same time as the Peace Now accounts, all of them. And I have actually got evidence which can prove that he has just signed in after leaving these accounts dormant for like over a year and a half, almost now, a year and a half. He has left them dormant, and then suddenly he has signed into them. And I will prove to you that that has happened in just a moment. And then underneath here, Mr. Dan Ben says, also Chaim, anti-JaimBenPesach just posted Joshua's full name on his channel and Marbus's channel and Ira's channel within a few minutes of your post on this thread after not signing into that account for 4 days. Oh, man. Then he says, I don't know him and can't verify that this is his real name, but how would anti-JaimBenPesach get that information? Well, you see, that information would have only been available to somebody who knew exactly where to find it. And of course, this guy, Joshua Rosenberg is his full name. Mr. Vancier was trashing him for like a whole year behind his back. He was one of JTF's, moderators, Mr. Vancier's moderators, who was making like hundreds of videos for him. And Mr. Vancier was using his anti-JaimBenPesach account to trash him behind his back. Now, you may be wondering, why would he do such a thing? You'd think, that doesn't make sense. Well, I'll explain to you, it makes perfect sense. The reason why he was doing that was, number one, because this guy, he had some kind of issue, some kind of dispute with this troll, this person who Mr. Vancier thinks was his former lover from like mid-1980s, just before he went to jail. He went to prison for doing some terrorist bombing acts in America, in New York. Some Russian model that he was dating, apparently, some millionaires, he says, and her name was Era, E-R-A-H. And he was saying, I nearly married her, but she abandoned me, she dumped me, when I went to prison, for, the bombings, and he actually thought that this random YouTuber, this IRA 90,000, was his former lover from like, mid-1980s, which would make this person like, at the youngest, late 40s, for that time frame, that he was dating her, mid-1980s. But yet all the videos look like a 12-year-old did it. And in fact, we have in JDL Germany, some of our friends in JDL Germany, they have actually confirmed that this person is not a late 40s woman by name of Era at all. It is not, in fact, what Mr. Vancier thinks. And sadly for him, this person disappeared and never to be seen or heard from again. And that just shows to you what Mr. Vancier is like. He has some kind of crazy delusion, in his head. And because of this, he lost one of his moderators. He was trashing him, and now that moderator is gone. No more videos by this person, and he has trashed him and made a fool out of himself, Mr. Vancier, because all of the evidence that we have put out shows that he was doing this. But that is what Mr. Vancier does. He exaggerates and he twists the facts and he lies. He distorts the truth. And I can prove to you how he distorts the truth. He even says that, we, meaning, me personally, that this particular account and like all of the other accounts that you see in the anti-JTF team, he says that it's all done by Rosenberg. And I will prove to you what a liar, what a con artist, fraud, and liar, once again, Mr. Vancier is. Number one, what Mr. Vancier doesn't realize and would never admit, he would never admit this, that there's only people like yourself who are watching this video up to this point who will be able to see stuff like this, because of course his followers will not probably watch a video like this, because they're not interested. His followers are all brainwashed morons, really. Honestly, I have to tell you. I know I said earlier that we shouldn't be insulting them, but I would say 95% of them are very, very stupid and gullible people. Unfortunately, that is just a sad reality. And they basically swallow and believe whatever he says. And anyway, just to explain to you what I'm talking about, you know, this guy Rosenberg is supposedly an American, okay, and suddenly he got mutated. He got, you know, transformed, mutated into an Australian, because Mr. Vancier thinks that I'm Australian, that I have an Australian accent, you know, that I'm faking my accent, that I'm not really, you know, European, that, you know, my accent is fake, that I'm Australian, that I'm not, you know, that this guy Rosenberg, he thinks that I'm Rosenberg, or either he thinks that, or he knows that that's not true, but he wants his followers, his stupid, gullible, brainwashed cult worshippers to believe that. You can take your pick, whichever one you want to pick. You know, I will show you once and for all what a liar Mr. Vancier is. Number one, I am not Rosenberg, okay? I actually have Croatian family members. I am half Czech, okay? And I have Croatian family members on my father's side, okay? My mother, she is Jewish, okay? But I was raised a Roman Catholic, okay? And I studied Croatian at a very early young age, and I know how to speak Croatian, I know how to read Croatian, I know how to write Croatian, you know, because of my upbringing, my family background. On my father's side, you know, his sister is married to a Croatian, and you know, basically when I was young, I was, you know, exposed to Croatian people a lot, and I studied Croatian as a child, okay? And, you know, I'm not from Australia, and I'll prove that as well in this video. Let me just read to you, this is an article in Croatian talking about Mr. Vancier, how he, you know, smears the entire Croatian nation, calling us fascist Nazis, and says that we are all like, you know, like reincarnated neo-Nazis, and, you know, we all, you know, praise Holocaust, we all, you know, want all Jews, you know, exterminated, and all this kind of rubbish nonsense that he talks about, that the entire Croatian nation is Nazis, and he actually calls us Nazi pigs. He actually says that here, and I will just read here, it says here, video, američki židovski ekstremist govori o Hrvatima kao nacističkim svinjama. What that means is, it says a Jewish extremist, okay, speaks about Croatians like they are Nazi pigs. Okay, so he says that they are, you know, Nazi pigs. And I'll just read you underneath here. It's got, this is what it says in Croatian. Thompsonov posjet Sjedinjenih Američkih Država i njegova turneja bilo jednom u Hrvatskoj izazvali su žestoke reakcije dijela američkih stanovnika, uglavnom Židova i Srba, a jedna je reakcija objavljena i na stranici židovske ekstremističke grupe koja se naziva Jewish Task Force, a koja svoju zadaću opisuje kao spašavanje Amerike i Izraela od islamskog terorizma. JTF je nastala od Židovske obrambene lige, JDL, militantne židovske organizacije, koja je 1960-ih nastala kako bi branila ortodokosne Židove od nasilja na američkim ulicama, da bi se postupno povezala sa ekstremnom izraelskom desnicom, te je bila upetljana u niz terorističkih aktivnosti na američkom tlu, usmjerenih između ostalog i protiv sovjetskih diplomatskih predstavništva. Okay, so basically what that is saying here is that the JTF was formed out of the, you know, JDL, Mr. Vancier, you know, he came from the JDL. It was, you know, set up to defend, you know, Orthodox, you know, Jews, you know, in American, you know, streets from being attacked and stuff like this, you know, and basically it is linked to the extreme Israeli riots and stuff like that, okay? And, this is what the Croatian article is stating. Basically that he was bombing. This was, of course, in the mid-1980s that he was doing this. This is one of the reasons why the JDL distances themselves from him today. The JDL denounced Mr. Vancier as a coward and a liar and a terrorist, which he is. This is one of the things that I'm very happy to say, that JDL has broken its links with this evil, sick man for very good reasons. They do not want to have anything to do with this guy. So, I don't have any problem, supporting JDL in Germany, especially because, number one, we do not have anything against Gentiles and Christians. We do not trash them behind their backs in Hebrew or in German, like Mr. Vancier's Hebrew movement in Israel, Hayamin.org does. And we have a video we have created already, which you have probably seen on our channel, this one here. It is called Death to All Christians, JTF, Jewish Task Force Anti-Christian Hatred Exposed. We do not do this kind of thing. We do not attack Christian Gentiles and call them, Nazi idolaters and, rapists, drunken, filthy, subhuman scum and rapists of Jews, and call them Nazis and, filthy, subhuman scum, and, put pictures of Jesus up on a cross dressed as Hitler, dressed in a Nazi uniform. We do not have little boys, cartoons, cartoons of little Jewish boys, urinating on a Christian cross, stuff like this, which is what Mr. Vancier's, Hebrew Forum has done. And Mr. Vancier has, given his support and his blessings for this kind of stuff, because he has, in written in Hebrew, he's responded to one of these threads with all these horrible anti-Christian pictures of Jesus, dressed up as Hitler. He has written underneath, he says, "Oh, good job, good job, Alex," even though in the video it's translated by Google as Align Force Alex. Of course, when you translate literally from Hebrew to English, it comes out, sometimes doesn't make much sense. It says Align Force Alex in Google Translate, but in Hebrew it's actually, good job, Alex. That is a direct quote that Mr. Vancier, made in response to all these pictures. These cartoons of, Jesus dressed up in Nazi uniform and giving a Nazi salute, and, up on the cross, and he's dressed up as Hitler. Just really sick, really, really sick stuff. And yet, he asks for donations, from his, American, Jewish, and Gentile supporters, saying that, they're unified. The Jews, the American Jews of his movement are unified with the Gentiles. He calls them righteous Gentiles. What a crock of shit. What a load of shit. And I don't hesitate in using that kind of word to describe Mr. Vancier and his lies. He is just a really sick individual. And to say stuff like this about the Croatian people, to say that, we are all like Nazi pigs. He calls the entire Croatian nation, he says here, that our music and, our music and our culture and everything to do with Croatians, he says it's all just nonsense. It's just it stinks. It's rubbish. It's garbage. It's all nonsense. And that's what it says here in Croatian. He says in Croatian it says njihova je glazba bez veze, hrvatska glazba, hrvatska kultura I sve vezano sa Hrvata je bez veze. Kaže muškarac na snimci. That basically says that's what he thinks of the Croatian culture and music. That it's all, it stinks. It's all nonsense. And that he also says that that Croatian people should all die of cancer. He says that all of us, who have Croatian blood, right? He says that all of us should die of cancer. That's really sick. And if you go to his forum, you can actually read his, comments, not just his comments, but a lot of the JTFers will say stuff like, I wish cancer on so-and-so, celebrity, or I wish so-and-so would get cancer, like a prime minister, or defense minister, or foreign affairs minister, somebody in politics in Israel or the United States. They always say stuff like that. I hope that they get cancer. I wish they die of AIDS, or I wish they die of cancer. I wish they die of heart attack and stuff like this. And this is what he has said here. That he says that the Croatian people should all die of cancer. What do you say about somebody who says stuff like that? I'll just read it to you here quickly in Croatian, give you a translation. Here it says, njihovu internet stranicu krase brojne video poruke, a jedna je posvećena i Hrvatskoj. U njoj čelnik JTF-a Victor Vancier, a.k.a. Chaim Ben Pesach, Hrvate u Sjedinjenih Američkih Država naziva prljavim nacističkim svinjama koje bi trebale pomrijeti od raka, a Hrvatsku naziva nacističkom zemljom kao i njezine vođe. What that means, basically, here it says, on their website, there's a number of video productions, that they have created, and one is dedicated to, Croatia. It says that, that the Croatian people are dirty, Nazi pigs, that they should all die of cancer, and that all of our leaders in Croatia, they're all Nazis. That's what he says here. What can I tell you? Nobody's hands were clean in Second World War. Okay, I don't deny that there were things that were done against Serbs and against Jews. But it was exaggerated beyond belief by a lot of these groups, like Mr. Vancier. When he puts figures up like 1 million Serbs and like 90,000 Jews and stuff like this, all of this is not supported by historical facts and evidence. It is nowhere near that figure. But I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to inflame, passions and start arguments here on YouTube about how many got killed. Nobody should get, slaughtered. I don't believe in killing anybody based on their skin color or their religion, their faith, or anything like that. Unlike Mr. Vancier, I don't believe in that sort of thing. I don't believe in killing all Muslim people and killing all Arabs and slaughtering them. And I don't believe, in killing Christians and slaughtering all Christians, like his Hebrew moderator there, Ben Mizrahi, who has said on several occasions, he has said that, all Christian churches should be destroyed. They should all be, wiped out, and all Christians should be killed and beheaded. He has actually said that they should have their heads chopped off. I mean, this is a guy who Mr. Vancier says is a righteous saint. This Ben Mizrahi, people call him in the anti-JTF team, we call him Ben-Jeremy Mizrahi. Because this guy on JTF, Spiraling Leopard, he actually started this name. He actually was arguing with this guy, Ben Mizrahi, and this Dutch guy, Spiraling Leopard, actually called him Ben Jeremy after he was threatened with death. He was actually threatened to be killed by Mr. Ben Mizrahi, and yet he still stays on that forum, which I can't understand why he does that. But this is how crazy some of these JTF people are. They get threatened with getting killed, and they still stay there. And one Christian lady there, Ruby Stars, Mr. Ben Mizrahi sent her a private message on the forum, and I know this for a fact because Mr. Ben Mizrahi has confirmed this, that he actually sent a message to Ruby Stars saying that he hopes that she gets raped by a bunch of Negroes, by a bunch of black men in Texas. He's really sick. He is really sick. This is what Mr. Vancier does. He, gives support to the most crazy, evil, sick ideas and crazy, evil, sick people. And I just want to show you something else. Just quickly here, I want to get this out of the way. In this video. I know this is a very long video, but I do apologize for the length of the video. But unfortunately, Mr. Vancier's lies, they're just so enormous. There's just so many deceptions and lies that, you can just go on and on and on talking about it. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible, but just quickly, I just want to get back to this subject of this guy Rosenberg, who was his moderator, Mr. Vancier put up this post here talking about Mr. Rosenberg, and he says, he's from Australia, he's been attacking JTF, dozens of profane anti-Semitic videos for over a year now. He's talking about JTF Germany. He's talking about the videos that we have put out, and he says that, they're profane anti-Semitic. Well, that is a complete lie. His administrator, Mr. Irish Zionist, this guy called himself Brian, has put out videos under an account called Yellow Cider. That is the name of the account, Yellow Cider, C-I-D-E-R. And on this account on YouTube, you can go and have a look at it, and it has videos making fun of our leader, Stephen Weigang, and our friend, Ben Mizrahi, and even Rosenberg himself makes fun of all three of those individuals, saying that they're all, homosexuals having, anal sex, gay anal sex in a homosexual gay, Roman bathhouse. Steam bathhouse, that they're all having sex, gay anal sex, and they're all homosexuals, and this is Mr. Vancier, trying to play the righteous, holy saint, holier than thou saint. What a hypocrite. His chief administrator, Mr. Irish Zionist, was a former Stormfronter. Okay, Mr. Irish Zionist was a former Stormfronter. And yet Mr. Vancier, who goes on channels like Marbus's channel and Rob Stark's channel and all these other channels which he calls Nazi, and uses his fake account to trash Rosenberg with his anti-JaimBenPesach account. He's got this guy who is actually, a Stormfronter, and that's like in most, right-wing Israeli Jewish forums, okay, they will say, are you crazy that you would accept somebody from Stormfront? But, the reason why Mr. Vancier does that is because he doesn't like black people. He is virulently, racist against blacks, and it appeals to him, that, because he was in prison, and he was obviously, in prison, had a hard time. He was sexually assaulted in prison. He denies this, but, that is the reality of being in a brutal federal penitentiary facility like that in Texas, They're very brutal. They have a lot of black people in there, a lot of, Mexican, other minority groups, and here comes this Jewish guy, he's going to serve years and years in prison for bombings. What do you think a little guy like that, is going to happen? So, of course, Mr. Vancier hates black people for that reason. And, he obviously, that's the reason why he accepts these Stormfronters. As long as you don't have explicit anti-Semitism, you can join Mr. Vancier's movement, his so-called movement. It doesn't matter if you're a guy who had swastikas before tattooed on your back, and you've got swastikas tattooed on your arms, and you are from Stormfront, you are extreme, neo-fascist or Nazi or white nationalist or whatever you want to call yourself, okay? If you had pictures of Adolf Hitler and you had swastikas everywhere, so long as you don't engage in anti-Semitism on his forum, and if you're an ex-Stormfronter like Irish Zionist, he will accept you. He doesn't care. He does not give a damn. In fact, Marbus has pointed out that there was a thread that was put out by one of his global moderators, a guy called Mord, M-O-R-D, and it actually it proved that the second most popular site on the JTF members list, the second most popular site apart from JTF that the JTF members look at is Stormfront. I know it sounds crazy, but unfortunately it is the truth that second most popular site after JTF is Stormfront for these JTFers. That's how sick it is. But getting back anyway to this, he's talking about this guy Rosenberg, and he says, he joined our forum under username for International. He's created, uploaded to YouTube literally hundreds of videos for International, or actually is also Rosenberg's website featuring many articles that he has written. Well, number one, that is a lie, okay? Ben Mizrahi, our very good friend here in this video, he did a Google search, and I'll just read to you what Mr. Ben Mizrahi wrote in this video. You can have a look at it. We'll put the link up for it. And I quote from Ben Mizrahi, he says, "I did Google search, which proves 100% positive that ex-JTF moderator Joshua Rosenberg, who Chaim K and his dumbass JTF is now like smearing as Trotskyist commie, actually hates Marxism. Joshua Rosenberg is member of right-wing conservative site Israpundit and was promoting JTF there in 2008 after he was invited to join Chaim K. Ben Penis's JTF anti-Christian, anti-German, anti-Gentile, anti-white psycho cult. I found this out by simply using Google search. On Felix Quigley's pro-Serbian for International WordPress blog, I discovered that Joshua Rosenberg was actually invited to join JTF by Chaim K's global moderator, Shmuel Ben Baruch, in February of 2008. Let's have a look at that link. Here it is here. It is just so pathetic. The amount of lies that this man, Vancier, perpetrates is just incredible. But there it is there. That's the website of Mr. Felix Quigley. It says here, defending Israel, defending Jews against anti-Semitism, support for Serbs, unity of Serbs and Jews. For more information, write to felixquigley@yahoo.com. So clearly this website does not belong to Mr. Rosenberg. It belongs to this guy, this Irish guy called Felix Quigley, who actually, according to Mr. Ben Mizrahi's research, he resides in Spain, and he was co-founder of the Israpundit website with Mr. Ted Belman, and has written many articles for Israpundit, which is a conservative pro-Israel website in Canada. But let me just go down here, and we can have a look at how Mr. Vancier's global moderator, Shmuel Ben Baruch, actually invited Rosenberg. Here it is, there it is there. Shmuel Ben Baruch says, the Jewish task force agrees with defending Israel, defending Jews against anti-Semitism, support for Serbs, unity of Serbs and Jews. We have been fighting for it from the start. Feel free to join our forum. And there is the website address, the forum address for Mr. Vancier's American forum, JTF.org/A. And Mr. Shmuel Ben Baruch, he is the global moderator of Mr. Vancier's forum. And this was back in February, as you can see here, February 9, 2008. I had a look at these links that Mr. Ben Mizrahi had put up. Okay, I had a look at these links that Mr. Rosenberg had written. Even here it says, we on For International follow in the footsteps of Leon Trotsky. We will never reject progressive nationalism. He said that the Jews were a nation and they must get out of Europe and set up their state in Palestine. Trotsky meant specifically Jewish state. The Jews were a nation, got that McCain, and so are the Serbs. We will be looking at this and how it is treated on Israpundit. It is getting damned interesting. Okay, now, Mr. Felix Quigley obviously is a Trotskyite. There's no doubt about that. He admits it on his website. Okay, but what Mr. Vancier is doing is what is called guilt by association. All of the articles, okay, that Mr. Rosenberg had contributed to this website, according to the research that was done by our good friend Ben Mizrahi, all of the articles were all pro-Serb articles. Yeah, and I'll just read to you what Mr. Ben Mizrahi has written here. He says, Felix Quigley, pro-Serbian Irish goy, he's got that there in quotes, which is what Mr. Vancier's people call the non-Jewish people. They call them goy, from Spain, also a member of Israpundit. So Mr. Felix Quigley is a member of Israpundit. Felix Quigley is a real owner of For International WordPress blog, and not Joshua Rosenberg, as Chaim K. Ben Penis, the stinking Rashalaya, falsely claimed on his crap JTF forum. And then you can see the link is there. He's given links there. here he says, but in March 2011, Chaim K. Trashes Rosenberg as Trotskyist communist by signing into his fake Peace Now anti-JaimBenPesach channel on YouTube and searching for infos provided to him back in 2009 by YouTuber Marbus Zero about Felix Quigley's political views. We in the anti-JTF team may dislike JTF and all JTFs, but we are also honest and truthful about everything, including current and former JTF cult members, unlike Chaim Ben Pesach, aka Victor Vancier, aka Jimmy Sullivan, the stinking lying Russia, anti-white, anti-Gentile, anti-Christian coward fraud. Mr. Ben Mizrahi has his way with words. He's obviously not very happy with Mr. Vancier and his lies, and I don't blame him. Underneath here he says, keep it up, Chaim Ben Pesach. At this rate, with all of your pathetic lies, you'll not have any JTF members left, you stinking low-life Russia coward, lying Russia coward. Well, he is a lying Russia coward because he lies against his own members, like I just showed to you there. He says that, oh, it's his site. Well, we just proved to you that it is not his site. It is actually a site run by this guy here, Mr. Felix Quigley. Okay, he is the guy who owns it. And he is an Irish guy from Spain. And the only articles that have Mr. Rosenberg's name on them, okay, date back to the beginning of 2008, just before he was invited by this guy, this Shmuel Ben Baruch global moderator, to come to JTF. He's got it written there. He says he's responding to an article where Mr. Felix Quigley is admitting he is a Trotskyite, okay? And he's responding to this article, and he says, Jewish task force agrees with defending Israel, defending Jews against anti-Semitism, support for Serbs, unity of Serbs and Jews. We've been fighting for it from the start. Feel free to join our forum. What a joke. I go to this post that Mr. Rosenberg put on Israpundit. There it is there. That's the conservative Canadian site, Israpundit. And we go down to Mr. Rosenberg's post. And let's have a look at what Mr. Rosenberg writes about Mr. Chaim Ben Pesach. There's the date there, February 26, 2008, as you can see. And I quote, I am very well aware of Chaim Ben Pesach's background regarding the tear gassing of Soviet ballet and the bombings of Soviet diplomatic missions in the 1980s, for which Chaim Ben Pesach paid his dues to society via his incarceration for several years in prison. In fact, I did not read about the history of his on the highly biased liberal leftist web haunt known as Wikipedia, who have been exposed repeatedly censoring and lying in favor of Balkan Nazis and Islamo-fascists such as Tojman and Izetbegovic. Instead, I read about it all on the JTF website itself. As far as the kind of people who have associated themselves with Chaim and personally invited him to high-level meetings for political advice in recent years, one need only read the front page of JTF's website. And then he's put a quote here about JTF, what it's about and how, Republican and Bush administration people were, going to see Mr. Vancier, because he did terrorist, attacks himself. And they wanted, after 9/11, they wanted to discuss with him, obviously because he's a terrorist himself. And he says here, so the Bush administration had no qualms whatsoever in inviting him to a high-level meeting in 2004 for political advice and did not consider his past actions in the 1980s as an impediment in any way. The JTF did not try to hide any of Chaim's past actions against the Soviets, which got him imprisoned, as JTF posted all of that 1980s history on its website for all the world to see. And then he says, at least Chaim in JTF is honest enough to admit the truth, which is a hell of a lot more than can be said of Wikipedia and the mainstream liberal left media. So you can see here that Mr. Rosenberg is a right-winger. He's a conservative right-winger. All this stuff he talks about, liberal, highly biased, liberal leftist, you can tell he's a hard right. And he's just pro-Serb. You can tell. You're just reading his post on this Israpundit from 2008. You can see he's extremely pro-Serbian, and he's got all the stuff praising Mr. Vancier. He says, in any event, everything that Chaim says in that YouTube video link posted above is absolutely 100% accurate. All of Chaim's critics on the web and the liberal media can do in response to his telling the truth about what is happening to Israel, the United States, and Europe is to attack the messenger, not the message, by dredging up his past actions, which he has already paid the penalty for. And then he talks about the, Wikipedia, how it's not reliable, it's not neutral, it's not accurate. He says it's liberal leftist. And he says, look, if you want to have a look at how biased it is, go to these links, and then underneath he says, one link I almost forgot, which exposes Wikipedia bias, and then he quotes Conservapedia. Conservapedia, that's like the conservative hard right wing, version of Wikipedia. So here's this guy who supposedly, according to Mr. Mr. Vancier, Mr. Rosenberg is Trotskyist communist, but Mr. Vancier doesn't realize that, people will check up on stuff like this. It's just so pathetic. It really is that, I guess he just doesn't think that anybody will bother to check up. Again, here's another post of his, from Israpundit, March 1, 2009. It's got here, Knesset member accuses Spain of war crimes in Serbia, and it's about the Israeli Knesset member. I think it was Arya Eldad, and there it is, yeah, Minister Knesset Eldad charged Spanish officials with war crimes in Serbia. Because of course, this is what the Americans and NATO, they bombed the Serbs in 1999. Milosevic, who was running Serbia then, he was being accused of all sorts of, horrible atrocities and stuff like this. So they bombed him, and you can tell here, by reading all of this, that Minister of Knesset Ari Eldad saying, look, if you want to put us on trial, if you want to put Israeli politicians and military officers on trial, we should do it to you. We should put you on trial for your bombing, because you bombed innocent civilians. So that's what this article is about. And when we go down and have a look at what Mr. Rosenberg was saying here, I'll just read to you. It says, Shalom to my fellow Jews and righteous Gentiles. As usual, the anti-JTF, you have absolutely nothing to say about Spain's war crimes against the innocent Serbian civilian population as integral and commanding part of Bolshevik leftist NATO alliance. Javier Solana is a Spanish Marxist. This guy, Rosenberg, he is using this language, Bolshevik leftist NATO alliance. Javier Solana is a Spanish Marxist. So clearly this guy, you can tell by his posts on this, what is he doing anyway on Israpundit, because he's strongly pro-Serb. Israpundit is a very strongly pro-Serb, website, forum run by Mr. Ted Belman. And Mr. Felix Quigley's website is very strongly pro-Serb. So obviously what has happened here, is Mr. Rosenberg has written for Israpundit and also for, Mr. Felix Quigley's website, because they all met on this website, this Israpundit, according to the research that Mr. Ben Mizrahi had done for this video, which I showed to you earlier, the text there. So, all of this stuff that we have discovered, about Mr. Rosenberg completely conflicts with the stuff that Mr. Vancier has put, saying stuff like this. Unbelievable. Joshua Rosenberg from Australia is a Trotskyite communist. Well, he's not a Trotskyite communist, because we've already seen the evidence that he's a rightist and that he was just pro-Serb. And he was not owner of that website. We have already proven that that is a lie. And the only articles that he has done, in fact, all you really have to do is basically go to this Israpundit site, and you type into the search facility his screen name there. There it is there. This is what I did, thanks to the research of Ben Mizrahi. You just type in Josh R, Joshr. You go to the Israpundit website. That's all you really have to do, and you just type in his screen name, and you know it will come out with all of these links, which is what you basically will find when you go. There it is there, Google site search, and that's what we did. We just clicked and typed in, you know, his screen name, and there are all the articles. There they are. That's all you really have to do. I mean, this is the problem with Mr. Vancier and his followers is that, number one, they don't want the truth to be known because, you know, the whole principle of JTF is to get money for Mr. Vancier. You know, that's what it's all about. It's just to get donation money. And to hell with the truth. To hell with the truth. You know, who needs to know, you know, truth like this, like the global moderator, Shmuel Ben Baruch, you know, JTF global moderator, was actually, you know, inviting, you know, this you know, particular group of people to come and join his forum. You know, so we have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Mr. Vancier is a liar. You know, for him to say stuff like this, that JDL Germany is anti-Semitic, you know, and profanity and all this sort of stuff, that, you know, we have done profanity in our comments, that's true. And in some of our videos, we have put up stuff which is no worse than any of the stuff that Mr. Irish Zionist has put up on his Yellow Cider channel. Okay, you know, he attacks us. He has put some really disgusting stuff up on that Yellow Cider, and we retaliate in kind. You know, that's what we do. You know, we're not going to sit back and just take it and not put stuff back, you know, against him. You know, if he wants to play that kind of game, if he wants to put, you know, stuff like, you know, that Stephen Gang and Ben Mizrahi and Rosenberg, you know, and anybody else, you know, who they don't like. You know, if they're going to put stuff like that, you know, what does he expect is going to happen? You know, people will retaliate. And that's one of the reasons why he thinks it's Rosenberg, because he thinks, aha, you see, you know, we are attacking Rosenberg, so it must be Rosenberg who's behind all this. Well, you know, that is a complete lie, as I have already proven to you, you know, that I am not him. If I go here, you can see here, using proxy, no, this is audit my PC, you know, to test to see if you are using a proxy, and it says here using proxy, no, and country, Germany. Right there. Germany is the country. You know. So what is he talking about? You know, I'm not from Australia, and I'm not Mr. Rosenberg. You know, I doubt that Mr. Rosenberg can speak fluent Croatian for a start, being a Jewish guy. You know, I mean, it's just pathetic. It really is pathetic. You know, how this guy Vancier, how he lies and how he gets away with it. You know, basically, I wanted to show you all of this so that you know and you realize what a liar this guy is, this Mr. Vancier. You know, how he talks about all this stuff, you know. But Joshua Rosenberg is a follower of Trotsky and the Soviet Bolshevik Nazis. Look at what is written on For International Rosenberg's insane website. You know, what a joke. That is not his website, number one. That is Felix Quigley's website. And the only articles that he wrote were all pro-Serb articles that he was invited along with Julia Gorin, who's a conservative, you know, website blogger. In fact, Julia Gorin is the lady who actually publicized the For International website on her own blog. She has put up articles by Mr. Felix Quigley and quotes from articles by Mr. Rosenberg. And Mr. Rosenberg, of course, was a member of Israpundit, as we have seen already. With those post that I showed you earlier, and how his language, it's all about liberal leftist media, Bolshevik leftist, NATO alliance, Javier Solana, Spanish Marxist, stuff like this, and yet Mr. Vancier, would have you believe that Mr. Rosenberg is follower of Trotsky, through this guilt by association, and lying through his teeth that this website is his. So we have proven already, beyond shadow of a doubt, what a liar Mr. Vancier is, not only against his enemies, not only against people he hates officially, like JDL Germany. He doesn't like us because we have exposed so many of his lies. But he also lies against his own current members and his own former members. If he believes or wants his supporters, his followers, to believe that it is him, that is attacking him. And the reason behind that, of course, is because he wants everybody to just dismiss everything that we say. Because what could be better? You just say, oh, that is just the guy who used to be with us. He used to do videos, and then he's disgruntled, he's unhappy, and he left. And, he's just a, insanely jealous, mental case, stuff like this, and that's the reason why he says that all of the JDL Germany videos are done by him. And I have already proven to you, number one, I'm not from Australia. Number two, I'm not a Jewish American guy. Like I said, I'm basically half Croatian and half Czech, on my father's side, and Jewish on my mother's side. But yes, I was raised Roman Catholic. I don't have any problem being who I am. I don't hold, Catholics are responsible, like a lot of people who are in Mr. Vancier's camp. They hold, especially on his Hebrew forum, they hold the Catholic Church responsible for Holocaust and stuff like this. This is what Mr. Vancier's movement is all about. It is about hate. It is about generalizing everybody, and just accusing everybody of being a Nazi or being a Bolshevik communist. That is what it is all about, okay? And when somebody leaves, when somebody decides to leave his forum, for whatever reason, just like in that video that we posted from Sam Vaknin, which is entitled Victor Vancier Exposed as Narcissist Cult Leader. If you have a look at our video that our great Croatian friend Marbus had found on YouTube, and you can have a look at that, and it will explain to you in that video by Sam Vaknin. He is the author of a book called Malignant Self-Love, Narcissism Revisited, and you can have a look at his video. And it describes Mr. Vancier and his JTF perfectly, 100%. It is a cult. Mr. Vancier runs a cult. It's a cult of hate. It is a cult of extremism, a cult of racism, a cult of fascism. It is like, a Jewish Nazi version, of a right-wing forum. That's what it is. It's not a conservative forum. It is really a Jewish Nazi forum. That's what it's really about. It's like fascist, Judeo-fascist forum, where they don't accept anybody who doesn't agree with their ideas that, the whole Middle East should be ethnically, cleansed of all Arabs and Muslims. They should all be exterminated, and all the Christians, in Israel should be exterminated and kicked out, just really sick stuff. And you can have a look, like I say, you can have a look at the video that we did, which exposes all of that. It is called Death to All Christians, JTF, Jewish Task Force Anti-Christian Hatred Exposed. So anyway, this has been an extremely long video, unfortunately, once again, because Mr. Vancier's lies are so phenomenally, deep and like a web of deceit. And, the old saying, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. We have seen once again in this video, this very long video, how much deception Mr. Vancier does. how many lies he perpetrates, you know. It is just never ending. He attacks his own former members, as we have exposed. You know, he lies about them. He attacks them behind their back while they were making videos for him. Like this guy Rosenberg, he was making hundreds of videos. He, you know, was doing all of this for him for a whole year. You know, he was making videos for him for a whole year, this Rosenberg, and at the same time, as we have proven in our videos, he was attacking him behind his back. So yeah, I mean, you know, it is just really, really sad what he has done. And I hope that one day the JTFers who are, you know, out there stumble upon the truth. I pray that they do. I pray that they leave this evil cult of his called Jewish Task Force Chaim and realize that they've been suckered, you know, for their money. Because Mr. Vancier hates them. He hates their guts. He doesn't like any Jewish website to have Gentiles. You know, Kahanist Jewish website. He doesn't want them to be there, but he has no choice because they are the only ones who give him money. That is what it all boils down to, the donation money. So he needs them for survival in order to pay his bills because he's unemployed. He couldn't get a job cleaning toilets because of his terrorist background. Like I said, he has spent 5.5 years in federal prison in America, in Texas, for a series of terrorist bombings in the New York area. And targets in Egypt, you know, because of Israel's withdrawal from the Sinai Peninsula. He did a series of bombings, you know, there as well. You know, I mean, just really insane, sick, evil man, Mr. Victor Vancier is. And we at JDL Germany want to thank you if you have watched this far. I hope that, you know, you were not too bored. I know that it can get incredibly tiring to see this. One of our fans, Freedom Fighter 28, says it never gets boring. Well, you know, for him maybe it doesn't get boring to watch a video this long. I hope that it wasn't boring for you. You know, it is difficult sometimes to plan ahead to see how long it will take you to do a video. And I want to thank you if you have watched this far. I want to thank you so much. And I want to wish all of you peace and prosperity and happiness. And, you know, always fight against extremism, against fascism, against hate. Okay, my friends? And God bless all of you for watching. Thank you.